All right, let's jump right in. You hear the term AI thrown around constantly, right? But here's the thing. Not all AI is the same. Not even close. There's a massive difference between a general, all-purpose AI and a real, focused expert. And that's what we're going to dig into. How we can take a pretty generic AI and turn it into a superpowered specialist that can solve some of an industry's toughest challenges. So this is really the core idea we need to wrap our heads around. On one side, you've got your generalist AI. Think of it like your family doctor. It knows a bit about everything, which is great. It's a jack of all trades. But on the other side, you have the specialist AI. Now, this is your world-class neurosurgeon. It has incredibly deep expertise, laser-focused, super high accuracy. It's a master of one specific thing. And for real business value, you don't always need the family doctor. A lot of the time, you need that surgeon. So the big question is, how do you do it? How do we actually make that transformation happen? How do you turn that generalist into a high-performance expert? Well, the secret is a process called domain-specific optimization. Let's really break down what that means. Yeah, domain-specific optimization sounds a little jargony, but the idea is actually pretty straightforward. It's all about meticulously tailoring an AI's knowledge, its skills, and even its personality to fit perfectly within one specific field, whether that's finance or medicine or law, you name it. This is how you go from having just a generic tool to an absolutely invaluable asset. Okay, so this whole transformation, it's not just some random magic trick. It's built on a really solid foundation, a framework that stands on three fundamental pillars. And getting these pillars right is the absolute key to creating an AI that doesn't just, answer questions, but actually solves complex real-world problems. That's the magic number. 3. The entire framework, everything we're talking about, it all comes down to just 3 core pillars. Keep that number in your head. These 3 things support the entire structure of a specialist AI. So, what are they? And here they are, the big 3: knowledge, skills, and behavior. It's really that simple. It's what the AI knows, what it can do with that knowledge, and how it acts. You got to have all 3 of these working in perfect harmony to build an AI that's truly effective. Let's make this real and look at a concrete example for each one. This really makes the whole knowledge idea click, doesn't it? We're not just giving the AI a link to Wikipedia. No way! We are feeding it a highly curated diet of dense clinical trial data, specialized medical journals, brand new research papers. Its entire brain is built from the ground up to be an expert specifically in medicine. Okay, next up is skills, and this is all about the tool belt you give it. A financial AI isn't just book smart. It's got to be equipped with the right tools for the job. It needs to be able to plug into real-time stock data, run really complex analyses, and actively manage a portfolio. These are the specific actions it has to perform to be useful in the fast-paced world of finance. And finally, we have behavior. Now, this one might be the most overlooked, but it is absolutely critical. A legal AI can't just be chatty and casual. Its whole persona has to match the legal profession. That means it needs to be formal, incredibly precise with its language, and totally objective. Its communication style has to build trust and credibility in that specific field. All right, so we get the what, those 3 pillars. Now let's get down to the how. Let's get practical. We're going to zoom in on the 2 most critical pieces of the puzzle when you're actually building one of these specialist AIs, crafting its knowledge base and fine-tuning its behavior. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. The absolute foundation of any specialist AI agent is what it knows. You could have the coolest tools in the world and the perfect personality, but without a deep, relevant, and accurate knowledge base, none of it matters. So building that brain is a very deliberate 3-step process. First, you have data sourcing. That's all about finding high-quality, relevant information. Next up is data hygiene, and this is so important. It's about cleaning all that data up, making sure it's accurate and consistent. And finally, you have data modeling, structuring all that info so the AI can actually use it to think and reason. You've heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out, right? Well, this process is how you make sure you're only putting in the good stuff. But being smart isn't enough, right? The AI also has to act the part. Having all the right information is basically useless if it can't communicate in a way that actually fits the industry it's working in. This next part is all about shaping the AI's personality, giving it the right vibe. And just like building the knowledge base, tuning the behavior is a really structured process. You start with persona development, where you literally create a detailed personality profile for the AI. Then you define its tone and style, giving it crystal clear rules for how to communicate. Finally, you design the actual interaction flow, mapping out how conversations should go so they feel natural to the people using it. When you get this right, the AI feels like a true member of the team, not just a robot. So let's pull all of this together. Why on earth would we go through all this trouble? Why build a specialist when you can just grab a generalist AI off the shelf? The answer is simple. Because the power you get from specialization unlocks a completely new level of performance and value. It's a game changer. And the payoff is huge. Domain-specific agents are just flat out better at their jobs. They're more accurate in their analysis and their decisions. They're way more efficient because they have the exact skills they need at their fingertips. And maybe most importantly, they're more trustworthy because their knowledge and their behavior are perfectly aligned with their industry. These are the tools that are going to solve the really complex problems we face. And that kind of leaves us with this incredible thought to chew on. Just imagine, for a second, a world where every single industry, medicine, finance, manufacturing, education, all of them, has its own team of specialist AIs working around the clock. What new discoveries are we going to make? What problems that seem impossible today will we finally be able to crack? The potential is just staggering.